Good morning, everybody. Thinking about Bruce, he never had a chance to get old. He always was young. And that's great. I know how it is. This is a real, unusual, crazy time. Bonaire has lost both a great friend and all our tourists. And our leaders are looking around and they're saying, what are we going to do? How are we going to make a new Bonaire? Well, they don't have to look very far. They just have to look at Caribbean and see how Caribbean treated its guests, its divers, its friends. They're the model for the future. That's what I think they should do. It preserved Bonaire's unique way of life and at the same time brought the people to the island. Well, looking back, we sailed into Bonaire in 1989 and we were broke. And I wanted to dive. I asked around, where do I go? Where do I get some dive gear? Where do I get my regulator fixed? They said, I'll go to Caribbean. And I went there, and there's Bruce, and he's real serious, and he took my stuff, and he made a lot of recommendations, and, I thought, boy, this guy is really serious and really focused, like, wow, Anyway, the next time we passed by, we brought our dog. We had a little dachshund named Trixie. Bruce sees Trixie, falls to the floor, grabs Trixie, and starts talking baby talk to her. I said, well, wait a second. And then he brings out his dogs and has them doing human faces, making expressions. He all those Dalmatians. I changed my mind about Bruce, and I realized he really wasn't really serious, and he really wasn't focused just on business. He was a great guy. Over the next years, this is in the early 90s, we visited the shop for repairs. Oh yeah, and the best t-shirts you could find on the island. That was a great thing in Caribbean. He taught me about crime on the island, how many times he and his guests had been victims, and how many times he went to the police to try to get satisfaction and was frustrated. I was with him on some of these crime forums we went to, and I truly appreciated the frustration. Well, he and Hugo decided to set up a sting, Hugo Earhart's, and this way they would track the guys trying to steal out of the cars at the dive sites. But never was continued. Got a few, but that was about it. Remember, Bruce worked towards a cleaner island, very personally. How? He bought a dump truck. He named it Big Pink. And then he got his guests and his staff to go around once a week, picking up the trash on all the back roads of the island. I even think to remember that he brought a car body once, like a car body. Well, that was pretty heavy duty. But, and I think you'll remember when Bruce said, hey, tourists, take your batteries back. Oh yeah, why is that? Well, because they're poisoning our landfill. I never thought of that, but he did. And it became real popular, and I think it's still done today. Yeah, but then we come down to cruise ships. I kind of like cruise ships. I came from a boat, and I thought it would be nice to have one. And Bruce said, I don't know about cruise ships. We were getting one, maybe two small ships a week. Well, you know what happened after that. There was an explosion of cruise ships. And Bruce never shut up about it. He was totally opposed to them. And, that's vision. That was back in the 90s. And we're here where we are today. But actually, I really got to know Bruce during the time of Klein Bonaire. You all know, I think, that Bruce said that if Klein Bonaire ever got developed, he was going back to New Jersey. Well, rather than go back to New Jersey, he decided to stay and fight to keep Klein Bonaire. It had always been on the back burner that Klein Bonaire someday might be developed. Well, that day came. And he made, we elected him president. I think the board of Foundation to Preserve Klein Bonaire is here. He was our president. And he led a 4-year-long, very frustrating struggle to to buy back the island for the people. Well, the problem was that they wanted $10 million for it. You know how many posters you have to sell to get $10 million? How many fundraisers you have to have? Well, it was a turning point. And you know when that turning point was? It was when Bruce took Prince Willem-Alexander out to climb on air on his boat. And they're, driving along. And we had learned that Bruce had a silver tongue. Boy, when he would talk about climb on air, he would convince the crowds. He did the same thing to the prince. And the prince was so impressed that, according to legend, on the way back, he would say, climb on air will only be developed over my dead body. Hey, he wanted him to be king, so he decided to pitch in and help. And we think, in the background, the royals worked for us. But we were still pretty surprised when in the last days of the 20th century, we got called into the BC, the island government headquarters, and the governor and some other guys said, hey, we think we're going to get climb on air. There's a Dutch department that has to get rid of some millions of euros by the end of the year. And, what do you say? And we said, well, that's our dream come true. And I remember that Laura even kissed Ramoncito, which was a shock at the time. So that was a real happy time. And I think that influence, the influence of the World Nature Funds, all worked together to get Climb on Air back. That's over 20 years ago. Climb on Air is a success. I never doubted that it was the voice of Bruce that made the difference. His sincerity, straightforwardness, honesty, and integrity came through in everything he did. We'll miss him. A great legacy to his memory would be if the island gurus would look at Caribbean and take that as their model for the future. It would be great. Thank you.